The Waterbending Scroll. I wonder if we'll get some real progress here on the waterbending. Oh, that's cool.
Nice puddle.
Heck yeah. Oh, it's a vacation for the two of them.
Remember the reason we're here.
Oh, right. Time to practice waterbending.
Great. So, what am I supposed to do?
You could clean the gunk out of Appa's toes.
I assure you, it is a matter of utmost importance, Prince Zuko.
Is it something to do with the Avatar?
Even more urgent. It seems I've lost my lotus tile. For my Paisho game. Most people think the lotus tile insignificant, but it is essential for the unusual strategy.
He needs a piece for his game.
You've changed our course for a stupid lotus tile?
Underestimate its value. Just give me 10 minutes to check the merchant. Hopefully, they'll have the lotus.
He's gonna buy a new one.
I can get on with it.
I feel that. That's so relatable.
I'm lucky to have such an understanding nephew.
Just
To get a manicure, he's getting a
like
manicure.
this. The key is getting the wrist movement right.
Swish and flick.
Like this? Hey, I'm bending it already.
Wow, I can't believe you got that so quickly. It took me 2 months to learn that move.
Well, you had to figure it out all on your own.
Yep.
I'm lucky enough to have a great teacher.
Thanks.
He knows just what to say.
I call it streaming the water. It's harder than it looks.
We've seen
so
her
don't
do.
be
Yeah, we've seen her
disappointed.
do that. Oh, this is gonna be a quick couple months for him to learn everything.
Though the over-the-head flare was unnecessary.
Stop.
Avatar's gotta have flair.
Well, don't stop now.
Is to create a big, powerful wave.
So, like this?
And it's done.
Looks like I got the hang of that move. What else you got?
That's enough practicing for today.
Yeah, I'll say.
He's not having it. I still feel like they could have flown on Appa and gotten the rest of their supplies real quick.
That beast would fetch me a hefty sum if you'd be interested in bartering.
Captain Hook?
Momo's not for sale.
That's right. It's a water symbol on it, it looked like. Ooh. Waterbending sort of techniques.
It's a waterbending scroll. Check out these crazy moves.
Where did you get a waterbending scroll?
Let's just say I got it up north.
With suspiciously acquired merchandise?
Pirates.
And pet reptile birds? You guys are pirates!
I'll just feel a lot better once we get away from here.
Hey, you! Get back here!
Oh, she stole it.
Well, well. Look who's come to
That's
their
why she wanted to
senses.
get out of here. Go, 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 go. That's why she snuck out so quickly.
Get back here!
Oh no, not the cabbage guy! God damn it, Aang. I just want my guy to have one good sales day.
Who gets to taste the steel of my blade first?
No thanks.
You guys don't know who you're messing with.
Grab on tight!
Hey, I thought we were running away from the pirates.
You are flying
Don't
away.
hang on!
Sokka, where
Stealing,
do you
I feel like
think
stealing
they
from
got?
pirates
They
doesn't count
stole
as
it
stealing.
from a waterbender.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. You put all of our lives in danger just so you could learn some stupid, fancy splashes.
These are real waterbending forms. You know how crucial it is for Aang to learn waterbending.
I mean, they weren't going to get that scroll any other way. They didn't have 200 gold pieces unless you go on another mission to get 200 gold pieces.
Not a lotus tile in the
Not sure how feasible
entire
that is.
marketplace. I always say the only thing better than finding something you are looking for is finding something you weren't looking for at a great
He got a bunch of
bargain.
other goodies. But he didn't get his lotus piece, though.
Oh, this
That's so
place looks
disappointing.
promising. Oh, that is handsome.
This monk, did he have an arrow
They're
on
gonna
his
find out that he's nearby.
I just want to try this one move first, and then it's all yours. Here, hold it open for me. What's so funny?
I'm sorry, but you deserve that. You've been duped. She's only interested in teaching herself.
Aang will get his turn once I figure out the
I
water
mean,
thing.
she's been a waterbender her whole life. I'd be interested in that too.
Key to bending is...
Will you please shut your air hole? Believe it or not, your infinite wisdom gets a little old sometimes. Why don't we just throw the scroll away since you're so naturally gifted? What?
Oh, that's so real, man.
I'm so sorry. I don't know what came over me. But you know what? It won't happen again. Here, this is yours. I don't want to have anything to do with it anymore.
Oh,
It's okay, Katara.
that's like a Horcrux.
about Mom?
I don't blame her at all for wanting to learn the water techniques. She's a waterbender, and she's been so curious her whole life. And like she said, those pirates took it from a waterbender.
Shouldn't we stop?
They
and
probably
search the
stole it.
woods?
Search the woods for the boy and meet back here.
Fine.
I love the art in this show. Get the faded backdrop of the trees. When you get closer, there's a little more
Took the
detail in
scroll.
them.
She's obsessed with that thing.
No. That's an airbender. You ain't gonna rope. Did it just go right through the airbending he did?
Your friend is the Avatar?
Sure is. And I'll bet he'll fetch a lot more on the black market than that fancy scroll. Shut your mouth, you
Turn the pirates against them.
Yeah, Sokka, you really should shut your mouth.
You'll regret breaking a deal with me.
He's not gonna let them walk away. Those like, little smoke bombs. That worked out. That worked out wonderfully for Aang.
Help me get this boat back in the water.
The scroll
so
fell
we can
back
get
into the smoke. You need.
We need a team of rhinos to budge this ship.
A team of rhinos. Or 2 waterbenders.
Hey, teamwork. There you go. Yes. Oh. Yeah, he's using that water bending. It's like his go-to now while they're on the water, so. Come on, join in. You got this.
Hey,
That's the move that she couldn't do before.
I've done it without your help. Will you two quick?
Appa's gonna save them. Here comes Appa. Because of the flute, right?
I knew a bison whistle would come in
Yeah,
handy.
hell yeah.
Thanks, Appa.
Appa's clutch.
My boat!
Prince Zuko, you're really going to get a kick out of it.
Did he find his piece, his lotus piece?
Lotus tile was in my sleeve the whole time.
That's awesome.
Just so
It's
good
the
at
most
water
underrated
bending
piece in
when
his
I was a child.
game.
I got so competitive that I put us all in danger. I'm sorry.
That's okay, Katara.
I knew it landed by him when
Stealing
they.
is wrong.
I just didn't know he took it.
Unless it's from pirates.
That's the life
Good
lesson.
one, Katara.
That's so great because I mean, stealing is wrong, but if it's from pirates, where did they get it from in the first place? They probably stole it from someone who was in a inadvantageous position. So yeah, I'm all about like the lessons. The lessons are so relevant here, because yes, stealing's wrong, but again, unless it's from pirates. And I really like the whole Iroh. I'm a big fan of Iroh's character. The more and more these episodes go on, and the more he speaks, and the more the comedic elements of him and the knowledgeable elements as well sort of combine, the relaxation at all times, sort of this overall zen that he's got going on despite the circumstances. They're prioritizing, even in the midst of these important missions, prioritizing still like the little things like his game that he likes to play in his downtime, and how he's missing an important piece to his game. So he's got to derail the mission and then go get the piece for his game at the market. But even when he can't find the piece, he still found there's still like a positive spin on it. Like, I didn't find the piece, but hey, I found other things at a great deal. Look at all the stuff we got here. Like, I really like Iroh. Pretty much every time he's got some sort of line or something going on in the show, I'm very much into it. I'm glad we got the scroll, obviously, because the waterbending techniques. I feel like, I wonder if we'll like keep using the scroll to learn all the techniques, or when we get to the North Pole, that'll be where all of the completion of the training happens. But in the meantime, at least we have the scroll to learn more while we're on our way there. And it's important for Katara to learn, not only because it's who she is, but also she's on the trip. Like, we're gonna face these dangers. We still have Prince Zuko after us, and it's important for her to be stronger and have more sense of her own abilities and learn these moves. Clearly she moved the ship, she was fighting pirates, like all with these new, like the whip technique. And yeah, I think it's like it's important for her as well to be learning and being more powerful along the journey. And Sokka coming up clutch, Momo coming up clutch, Appa coming up clutch, all of them in this episode, just great stuff. And even the lesson there, like the last lesson at the end with Katara sort of realizing like, hey, my own ambition / ego / all these things put us in danger, and I realized that, and I apologize. And you realize that like teamwork is important, and sort of not being ashamed to ask for help, because every time and that's so real. Like there's so many situations where you want to be really great at something and you're not like immediately great at it, but then you see someone else who's really great at it, like Katara was seeing Aang really great at this, and then you just sort of feel shame, and you like there's even anger in there. You're like, damn it, and you don't want to take their advice or whatever, for whatever many reasons it might be. And just take the lessons, take the advice, there's no shame in any of that at all. And it just makes you better in the long run. It makes you greater at what you're passionate about. So yeah, it's another just great lesson from this show, one of the many. Jet. They're flexing the art style here. It's cool.
These are Fire Nation traps. You can tell from the metalwork. We better pack up camp and get moving.
They can't relax anywhere. I mean, not that they should be.
This time.
They don't have time for that.
Why wouldn't we fly?
They'll see you.
Think about it. Somehow Prince Zuko and the Fire Nation keep finding us.
It's
because they spot Appa. He's just too noticeable.
Up in the air with the telescope.
If anyone's the leader, it's Aang. I mean, he is the Avatar.
Are you kidding? He's just a goofy kid.
112-year-old kid.
He's right.
He's gonna save the world.
Boys always think someone has to be the leader. I bet you wouldn't be so bossy if you kissed a girl.
I've kissed a girl. You just haven't met her.
Who? Gran?
Damn, she's coming straight for his neck.
No.
Isn't Appa right behind them?
We promise not to hurt you.
What are you doing?
Bluffing.
Nice work, Sokka. How'd you do that?
He didn't.
Instinct?
Who did do that? Is the question. Another friend, another ally on the way. What's that? Who are you? It's the ninja.
They're in the trees!
That's so useful with it. Every time anyone has a giant, I find it incredibly useful.
Hey.
Hi.
Uh-oh. Hey, you better watch your girl, man. I feel like this is Mr. Steal Your Girl.
Freedom fighters. Sneers, Longshot, Smeller Bee, the Duke, and Pipsqueak.
He's got a whole squad.
Aang?
I'll get up on my own.
There you go, Aang.
Grab hold of me, Katara.
Well, you messed up. You literally left her behind. Oh boy. Oh man. Whatever we got. I was thinking that it was going to be the Earthbender that steals her away, but no, it's going to be our guy Jet. Smoothest dude in the whole Avatar world.
We've been ambushing their troops, cutting off their supply lines, and doing anything we can to mess with them.
One day, we'll drive the Fire Nation out of here for good and free that town.
That's so brave.
Yeah, nothing's braver than a guy in a treehouse.
Don't pay any attention to my brother.
Fire Nation killed my parents. I was only 8 years old.
So they relate in their trauma. She's clearly interested.
Today, we struck another blow against the Fire Nation swine.
Or at the very least, she swooned.
Unfortunately, we have to leave tonight.
Sokka,
come on, Sokka.
I needed you on an important mission tomorrow.
What mission?
Don't give him scrub work. Actually, don't shit on him like that.
False alarm. He's just an old man.
Are they bad people?
Do you like destroying towns? Do you like destroying families? Do you?
Is Sokka gonna have to stop this?
Let me go. He's just an old man.
He's Fire Nation. Search him.
But he's not hurting anyone.
Have you forgotten that the Fire Nation killed your mother?
Damn.
Remember why you fight.
We got his stuff, Jet.
This doesn't feel right.
Man, they're their own rebellion, but sometimes it's at all costs, and those costs are people that don't really deserve to be
Gave me.
in the way of what their cause and mission is.
If he was Fire Nation, he was a harmless civilian.
He was an assassin, Sokka. See? There's a compartment for poison in the knife. He was sent to eliminate me. You helped save my life, Sokka.
I knew there was an explanation.
Was there or wasn't a knife? Huh? It's for all of us to figure out, I guess.
Tell me you guys aren't leaving yet. I really need your help. The Fire Nation is planning on burning down our forest. If you both use waterbending to fill the reservoir, we could fight the fires.
Katara, I'm not jealous of Jet.
I mean,
It's just that my instincts...
he might be jealous, but he definitely
and help Jet.
feels how he feels in a natural way.
Sorry, Sokka.
He means his feelings and saw what he saw. We don't know if the knife was really there or if Jet is lying. Because we don't know Jet. I don't know Jet. We just met him.
If the reservoir isn't full, the Fire Nation troops could survive.
But what about the people in the town? Won't they get wiped out too?
Look, Duke, that's the price of ridding this area of the Fire Nation.
Got it. I mean, their mission...
Where do you think you're going, Ponytail?
Their mission's straightforward. They want to eliminate all the Fire Nation. But it doesn't matter if it's old, the young, the woman, the children. It's like everybody.
I do understand.
Oh, he did lie about
I
that.
understand that there's nothing you won't do to get what you want.
I was hoping you'd have an open mind.
The reservoir is not about the
I
forest
guess you've
fire.
made
It's
your
about
choice.
just killing that whole village.
I can't let you warn Katara and Aang. Take him for a walk.
God damn it.
A long walk.
And they're going to think that he
can't
just
do
left
this.
because of what he was saying.
up.
Look, there's another steam vent.
Just,
Okay.
yeah, just make
You
it
two
work
keep
even
it up. I'll
faster.
go check on things at the reservoir.
When we're done, we'll meet you over there.
Actually,
Don't go over there.
probably
You're going to
better
see
for you
me
to be back at
killing
the hideout
everybody.
when we're done.
Hey, listen, Sokka. Jet's a great leader. We follow what he says, and things always turn out okay.
I mean, I understand. Like, I get Jet's motivations, and I
That's how Jet
get
leads.
why they follow
Then he's
him.
got a lot to learn.
It's not at all. Yeah, he saw the
While you
traps.
two are up there,
Nice.
you might want to practice your knot work.
The at all costs thing is really tough to get around, though.
Why would they need blasting jelly?
Because Jet's gonna blow up the
There
dam.
you go. That's why you're the Avatar.
No, that would destroy the town. Jet wouldn't do that.
Katara, you would too if you just stopped to think.
Don't manipulate
Think
her.
about what the Fire Nation did to your mother. We can't let them do that to
She probably
anyone
thinks
else
about it
ever
every
again.
day.
This isn't the answer.
That doesn't change who she is,
I want you
though.
to understand me, Katara. Katara.
Those are the damn. I really fell for a fucking douchebag look. I fell for it.
I need to get to the dam.
I love this. When this score kicks in, I think it's just so cool. Keep going at him. Keep going at him.
Why, Jet?
That freeze move is so sick. Get him, get him, get him, get him. Oh, it's really gonna destroy this. Did he warn everybody, maybe? To get out of there? Maybe? It's a doll, not a real baby. They almost got me for a second. Yes, he did. He warned the people. They got out of there.
I warned the villagers of
Yeah,
your
they
plan
got out of there
just
sick.
in time.
What?
At first, they didn't believe me. The Fire Nation soldiers assumed I was a spy, but one man vouched for me. The old man you attacked.
Nice.
He urged them to trust me, and we got everyone out in time.
And she got her doll. This is pretty.
Sokka, you fool! We could have
What a
freed this
name.
valley. Katara, please, help me.
Goodbye, Jet.
You gotta get over this. Thank you. Get over this, dude. Don't have the watery, heartbroken eyes. Move on. Screw this guy.
thought you were
She's
gonna
like, but I
tell me
was in
sex."
love for 5
Let me
hours.
guess. Your instincts told you.
Hey, sometimes they're right.
Jet was too cool. He was too cool. That was the issue. They can't. They don't come that cool, but also end up being a good person. Huh? Never works out that way. So I'm glad. There was like a Aang, Katara, slight hints. Not even slight. There were some pretty clear hints at like a budding young romance in the first few episodes. That seems to have gone away, especially, I mean, they've like completely not made that part of any of the storylines or scenes the last few episodes, and especially when you have an episode where she's just completely head over heels for this new Jet guy that we meet, just like that, makes him the hat and everything, and we have the boyfriend jokes by Sokka, and Aang is just like in the background like, whatever, I'm the Avatar, I got other things to worry about. So maybe we've abandoned that. I don't know. I was kind of rooting for the two of them, but now I guess I'll just root for them separately as friends and as badass teammates who waterbend together and save each other, because Katara saved them in here. That's literally why it was so important for her to get the scrolls and to learn the waterbending. And I think that might have been that whip move as well that she was doing, that she just learned recently, so that's cool to see. And yeah, it's cool, like the whole, it's such a real thing, especially in a world like this and fantasy worlds. It's so such a significant, important part of the storytelling. It's like, at what cost? You know, if you're gonna avenge something, if you're going to accomplish this primary goal in these worlds, it's all of like, ultimately such a key question is, at what cost? Because if part of that cost is gonna be, you know, parents and children and just whoever is not part of who your actual enemy is, if that's what you're going for, does that really, you know, what are you really fighting for ultimately? Are you really fighting for the people, or is it just about your specific vengeance and nothing else? It makes me think about all the different fantasy stories I've either read or watched in my entire life, right, or played via video game. Like, it's all, every single story, that is such a key element in those stories. And it's just so great to see. I mean, we know Aang, we know Katara, like we know that that's what they represent, but to see Sokka be such the driving leader of that, and like what he sees when no one else is around, I love that. I really love that. It makes you into the Sokka character even more. You know, even though he doesn't have powers like the other two, but his power being something from within, like his conscience, that's so important. Yeah, it just makes you that much more into the story when you have such a specific investment in every single character.
That's the ignorance I'd expect from a messy Zhang. So unorganized and ill-prepared for a journey.
I assume that's his... Oh, that's the guide, probably.
I was here first. My party's on their way.
I can't guide people who aren't here.
So anyone that's like reserving a spot at a restaurant for like a party of 20. There's like 4 of y'all.
These people have been feuding for 100 years.
Everyone listen up! This is the Avatar. And if you give him a chance, I'm sure he can come up with a compromise that will make everyone happy.
You could share the Earthbender and travel together?
Absolutely not. We'd rather be taken by the Fire Nation than travel with those stinking thieves.
We wouldn't travel with you pompous fools anyway.
10 minutes. All food better be in your gut or in the garbage.
Appa's gonna take good care of you till we get there.
Oh, that's
nice
sick.
bending.
The job's much more than bending, kid. Folks want information. These people are fleeing the Fire Nation, aren't they? Gotta make sure we can't be followed. We'll be safe.
Okay, now we gotta help me!
What happened to Aang? Did Aang's attack do nothing? He's like an actual roach. Like a roach sized up.
And there's sure to be more.
Your arms, they're broken.
Especially the way he just scurried
Without my
away.
arms, I got no bending. In other words,
we're trapped in this canyon.
His arms are really broken.
I hope you're happy. We're stuck in this canyon with no way out.
Why don't you thank yourself, food hider?
So, why does your tribe hate the Zhang so much?
You seem like a smart girl, Katara. I bet you would enjoy hearing some history. Taking the orb from the east to the west represents the sun's rising and setting. It was our tribe's ancient redemption ritual. That coward Wei Jin knocked Jin Wei to the ground and stole our
That's why they call them thieves, because of the one guy.
Our people have never forgotten.
Our conflict with the Ganjin goes back over 100 years.
Everyone's got their own perspective, man, and everyone's story is their own. That's what we're kind of learning here.
Forefather Wei Jin was leaving the western gate of our village.
So we're gonna get this guy's perspective now.
Jin tried to tend to the man's wounds, but Jin Wei insisted the orb was more important. Instead of thanking him for his kind and selfless deed, they sentenced him to 20 long years in prison.
Huh, that's so real.
We Zhangs will never forget that injustice.
Is that?
My guy's starving.
Everyone smuggled food down here? Unbelievable! You guys put our lives in danger because you couldn't go without a snack for a day? You are all awful!
Cover their mouth. Oh, they ride the roach. Oh, man. That's so gross. It's so gross.
And I never knew you Zhangs were so reliable in a pinch.
Perhaps we're not so different after all.
Too bad we can't rewrite history.
Oh, brother.
Wait a second. Jin Wei? Wei Jin? I know those guys.
Yes, we're all aware of the story.
No, I mean, I really knew that. I might not look it, but I'm 112
That story does go
I
back
was
that
there
far.
100 years ago on the day you're
They
talking
did say
about.
that, yeah.
Jin Wei had the ball and was running toward the goal when he fell and fumbled it. Wei Jin didn't steal the ball. He picked it up and started running it back toward the other goal. But he stepped out of bounds. So the official put him in the penalty box. Not for 20 long years, but for 2 short minutes. There was no stealing and no putting anyone in prison.
Saying the sacred orb was actually a sacred ball?
Nope. Just a regular ball.
Just a regular
What about
ball.
our tribe's redemption ritual?
That's what the game was called. Redemption. Don't get me wrong. Wei Jin was kind of a slob, and Jin Wei was a little stuffy. That much is true.
Like both of them.
But they respected
Like
each
both
other's
versions.
differences enough to share the same playing field.
I cannot thank you enough, Avatar.
Heavy on the life
Well,
lessons
you
in
know,
this
I
episode.
Oh, sick of this place.
That's some luck you knew Jin Wei and Wei Jin.
I mean, he's got to heal his
You could
arms
call it
anyway.
luck, or you could call it lying.
I was gonna say,
made the
like,
whole
he
thing up.
definitely
You did
was like,
know.
it sounded like he was
That
making it
is
up.
so wrong.
Now, where's that custard tart?
It's funny because it's like, well, then whose story is true? We have 2 completely different accountings of, well, 3 completely different accountings, but one of them is just entirely and admittedly fictional, and the other 2 maybe have versions of the truth, but probably aren't the entire truth. This episode is interesting because it has no furtherment. It doesn't advance the plot whatsoever. It feels like there's no, like, you could almost skip this if you're watching the whole thing through, because nothing in this episode, right? Even meeting that Earthbender guy. Yeah, I feel like literally you could just skip it, because every other episode I feel like has had some sort of part of the main plot and the main story, and this had none of that. But at the same time, it carried on with more of the life lessons. You got some more character insight to Aang. There's so many Z's. I just added the Z in front of Aang. But yeah, some more character insight to Aang. Yeah, it was interesting. It's not my favorite episode out of all of them. Certainly not. Probably because mostly there was nothing involved in the main plot. But I still really enjoyed it because it's a real think piece. It really makes you think into sort of things that are told from history, tales that are told that are passed down, and it's kind of like, well, what's the real truth of? It makes you think about real historical stories that are told from. It's like, okay, well, what perspective was that story told from? Because if you hear it from other perspectives, it's told in a different way, in a different spin, in a different light, viewed on a different side of maybe an opposing view, and a lot of that is real. That's a very real life thing that's happening here. So I find that really interesting. But when you boil it down, a third person can come in, completely make something up the way Aang did, and then if the way the two people view it, if they just look at, and like, yeah, it's a made up story, but that made up story can kind of just be a lesson where it's like, okay, well, that was 100 years ago. Like, we can just come together and live in the right now if you look at it as like a made up story, because both your stories definitely probably have some made up elements to them. So spinning all of that into like its own truth is kind of interesting. It really is a real think piece. I think this episode, it can be like isolated into its own thing and showed to, I don't know, all these countries that don't get along well, right? Or, you know, political parties, etc. Just anyone that's got a history of not getting along well. But I'm certainly not going to get into that during Avatar: The Last Airbender. The storm.
Gyatso?
Why did you disappear?
I didn't mean to. Nothing.
I mean, all that pressure.
I just had a bad dream. Go back to sleep.
Don't have to tell me twice.
I'd be having that dream nightly with all that pressure.
I'm okay.
You seem to be having a lot of nightmares lately.
The weight of the
You wanna
world
tell
is
me
on
about
his
it?
shoulders.
I think I just need some rest.
A storm is approaching from the north.
No, he
I
knows.
suggest we alter our course and head southwest.
He knows.
We know the Avatar is traveling northward, so we will do the same.
We're gonna hit the storm.
Prince Zuko, consider the safety of the crew.
Lieutenant, you'd better learn some respect, or I will teach it to you.
What do you know about respect?
Look at Uncle in the
The way you
background.
talk to everyone around here, from your hardworking crew to your esteemed uncle, shows you know nothing about respect.
Easy now.
Damn, right now with the storm right here too.
I'll never forget the day the monks told me I was the Avatar.
Okay.
I love seeing these visions, these flashback visions.
You kind of have to balance on it like it's a top.
Aang, come with us. We need to speak with you.
Gyatso. We need to tell you the biggest news that's gonna be the entire purpose of your life.
How do you know it's me? Those were some of my favorite toys when I was little.
You
Oh,
chose
every
them from among
element.
thousands of toys.
Maybe?
The toys
Turtle is
empty
water.
with the 4 Avatar relics. These items belong
That's
to
air.
Avatar's past.
What are the others?
Own
I can't
past
see.
lives.
Troubling signs.
Was he 12 here? Or is he younger?
Are gathering.
I fear that war may be upon us, young Avatar.
We need you, Aang.
I want to see the rest of the toys.
May I join you?
Of course, sir.
Of course. What a great hang.
Try to understand. My nephew is a complicated young man. He has been through much.
Let me in.
Without the scar.
Prince Zuko, what's wrong?
I want to go into the war chamber, but the guard won't let me pass.
The Earth Kingdom defenses are concentrated here. I am recommending the 41st Division.
But the 41st is entirely new recruits.
What better to use as bait
Damn.
than fresh meat?
That sucks.
You can't sacrifice an entire division like that. Those soldiers love and defend our nation.
He didn't even hesitate on the speaking.
Zuko was right, you see. But it was not his place to speak out.
So you were upset that you were the Avatar?
Oh, I like the
Why wouldn't you be excited about
Zuko and
Well, I
Aang
didn't
sort
know
of
how to feel
backstories
about it.
here. It's
All I knew was that
awesome.
after I found out, everything began changing. What's going on?
Now that you're the Avatar, it's kind of an unfair advantage for
Oh, you couldn't
whichever
even.
team you're on.
That
But I'm
sucks.
still the same. Hey. Sorry, Aang.
That just play with him. That's so
Okay,
sad.
now who wants to have Jinju on their team?
What? I'm sure Jinju's tremendous at this game. I bet he beat everybody. That's the same game that Iroh was playing.
The Avatar should be training.
He's like
Aang
Iroh.
has already trained enough for
There's always
today.
time for games.
Time is short. Come with me. I must test you on some high-level techniques.
No. As long as I am his guardian, I will decide when he trains.
Still make sure he's a
And
kid.
when he gets his butt kicked at Pai Sho.
The Fire Lord became very angry with him. He said that Prince Zuko's challenge of the general was an act of complete disrespect. And there was only one way to resolve
The banishment?
Agni Kai.
When he turned to face his opponent, he was surprised to see it was not the general.
Who was it?
Zuko had spoken out against the general's plan. But by doing so in the Fire Lord's war room, it was the Fire Lord whom he had disrespected.
Oh, he had to go up against...
Zuko would have to do his own father.
Just when I was starting to
Oh,
feel
this is
better,
so good.
something worse happened.
God, this is good. The way that they're balancing these backstories are just perfect.
Yatso, I know you mean well, but you are letting your affection for the boy cloud your judgment. You and Aang must be separated. The Avatar will be sent away to the Eastern Air Temple to complete his training.
That sucks.
That's awful, Aang. I don't know what to say.
How could they do that to me? They wanted to take away everything I knew and everyone I loved. Whoa, hot cinders.
Did he run away?
I'm not
Is
going
that
to
a-
let them take you away from me.
Is that a note he left behind? And Gyatso was gonna come for him anyway.
I never saw Gyatso again.
Oh, that sucks. Oh, that's when that happened? It was the storm. And then he froze. Is this where he freezes them?
Next thing I knew, I was waking up in your arms after you found me in the
I just
reservoir.
got crazy amounts of goosebumps.
If you had stayed, he would have been killed along with all the other airbenders.
He wasn't ready.
You don't know that.
I know it's meant to be this way.
Yeah, it's not like he was as strong as the other airbenders at that time.
People hope.
She's right.
When Prince Zuko saw that it was his father who had come to duel him, he begged for mercy.
Please, Father. I only had the Fire Nation's best interest at heart. I'm sorry I spoke out of turn.
You will learn respect, and suffering will be your teacher. I looked away.
I always thought that Prince Zuko was in a training
It was his dad.
It was no accident. Zuko had shown shameful weakness.
He wouldn't fight his dad.
As punishment, he was banished and sent to capture the Avatar. Only then could he return with his honor.
The helmsman!
Oh, did he just fight off lightning? Or try to anyway? Prince Zuko? The same crew he said he didn't care about? This episode is amazing.
The Avatar!
What do you want to do, sir?
The Avatar or your crew? Your crew.
We need to get this ship to safety.
Still a piece of Zuko in there. Pre-consumed Zuko. No. What could he do here? Guys have the full Avatar powers. Full Avatar powers come up when it's life or death, it seems.
Uncle, I'm sorry.
Your apology is accepted.
Wow. This is confidently, I'll say, my favorite episode of the whole series so far. I can see the people, I know most people are saying that like season 2 and 3 is when it really starts going. But if there's any momentum in this show towards that, this feels like that. The way that they balanced the backstories in this episode of Zuko and Aang and how they're both haunted by their past and how it drives them currently was so effective. It was, I love that. I love the story of I love the storytelling of backstory for characters, especially the main characters in our shows. And I thought it was just so effectively done here, flashing back and using the storm as the catalyst because of the storm and Aang's past, and the way that the storm was happening here and the nightmares and having to battle through that storm with the saving people at the end of the episode. It was all so effective. Was it Gyatso that said the storm was coming at some point in this episode? Learning, so a lot of my views of the show have just been sort of, as far as like what the main goal here, or what the main idea of the show is, aside from all of his life lessons, is that the Avatar needs to learn all his abilities, save the world from the Fire Nation. That's kind of just how I view it. It's all about Aang. It's all about Aang. It's all about Aang. But this episode does an amazing job for a character that's already existed as one of the main side characters, and that being Prince Zuko, and shooting him up towards the top along with Aang. Obviously not like right with Aang, but if he was here before and how I viewed his place in the story, now he's up here, and now it's more of an Aang and Prince Zuko sort of alignment as far as how towards the top of the story they are. And that's what an episode like this does. It makes an episode like that's like, it makes a character like Zuko so much more important for the viewer, and puts them in a different light. You've only viewed Zuko as in this one way up to this point, if you're me, and now you see that Zuko wasn't down with any of the sacrificing this large group of people. Everyone else in the room was like, yeah, no problem, we're gonna sacrifice all of them, it's what we have to do for this. But Zuko's like, no way. And Iroh says himself, like, that was the right choice by Zuko. It was the right thing to be like, no way. But he just shouldn't have said, like, him saying it out loud like that cost him his relationship with his dad, all these things. He had to do Agni Kai with his father, and he wouldn't fight his father back, so he gets the scar, and the shame of him not fighting back as well got him deserted from home. He can't go back home, banished, because he wouldn't fight his dad. And that shame, the banishment, the scar that he has to carry with him, that kind of represents all of that as well. Everyone thought it was from a duel, they said, right, that scar, but no, it's from the banishment and the fight with his dad. That it wasn't even a fight, it was just him getting punished, and he wouldn't fight back again. It makes this a story about Aang and Zuko. And you see Zuko save, when you have the flashbacks to seeing that Zuko actually has a morality to him, and then you flash forward to the present, and it's Zuko now saving his crew, because that part of him is still in there. He's been hardened by being so consumed to get the Avatar, so that he can, it's like Iroh said, things will never be the same. But if he can't get the Avatar, at least it gives him some sort of hope for family, for bringing, for diluting that shame to some degree that he feels, and that has been cast upon him by his dad. What a incredible storytelling. And I'm just talking about Zuko here. I barely touched on Aang and Aang's backstory. To have that pressure placed on you at such a young age, and you all of a sudden you get stripped of being a kid, literally, because the rest of the kids won't even play with him because now he's the Avatar. And then to have this very close relationship with Gyatso and have that taken away from you because the other monks are like, well, that's not, he doesn't need to be playing games or whatnot. His priorities need to be straight up, tunnel vision on becoming the Avatar without having the side time to enjoy life. And having he cares about Gyatso deeply, so he runs away, and then running away, the storm is happening, and then boom, he frees himself, and next thing you know, he wakes up and it's Katara and Sokka. So yeah, just amazing storytelling in this episode. Truly, I think I had goosebumps for several minutes consecutively, and they would keep introducing a new storytelling element that just kept that feeling going. This was amazing stuff. This is the stuff that I live for, and I'm so happy this episode exists. And the fact that there's so much more of the show is just very, very exciting right now with what I'm feeling.